So we know the fractures and divisions, be them in your family, be them in the church, politics, your neighborhoods, whatever it is, comes from that those two things that James talked about, right? The jealousy, this selfish ambition, this all about me and I want to win kind of attitude. So, what wins? What's going to bring unity? What's going to bring it back? Well, James gives us the awesome instruction on how to do that. We find it here in chapter 3, and we're looking at verse 17. He says, "But the wisdom from above, God's kind of wisdom, is first pure, then peaceable and gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere." He says this is the kind of stuff that makes peace and a harvest of peace. Let's look at that list real quick because it's going to help you. And I think it's something that you should save and remember this verse 17 of chapter 3, over and over and over again in any kind of conversation because it's what brings about peace. First of all, he tells us that we need to be a people who are pure. That means we go in with no false pretensions or motivations to try to win or to prove the person's evil or wrong. We're going to go wrong right there if we're not aiming at first being pure about it without our sin and acknowledging our own problems. But our aim is peaceable. Look, we want to make sure that we're going into this for the best intentions. We want peace. Peace means everything in its right order, which means if I'm out of order, I get in order. If they're out of order, they're going to get in order. And so we're not looking to win, we're looking for peace. And so he says, be gentle. Don't smash each other. Don't bash each other. Don't take each other's statements at their worst. No, consider them and give them the benefit of the doubt. And that's the next part, right? That's where we want to be open to reason. Guys, if you can't take it in and understand what you're hearing so that your feelings are removed and the facts can be understood so that you can be swayed and actually shown, wow, I was wrong, then we're not going to get anywhere. And that's the case. We want to be open to being swayed, open to being reasonable. We want to listen carefully and understand where we're different. And then we want to be merciful. Guys, we want to understand people are going to say dumb things. They're going to do dumb things. They're not intentionally trying to hurt us. Then, hey, we're going to listen with mercy. Even when they do, I think it's good to let an offense go by so that you can aim at peace. To kind of say, that you may feel that way, but let's set that aside for a second. Let's go for peace in this. And finally, we want to be impartial, which means we don't want to necessarily just hold our side and aim at our side. We want to kind of weigh it out and look at all the parts and pieces, and then finally be sincere. Hey, that means that you and I are simply going to tell the truth about where we're at. If I disagree with you, I'm going to say, well, that was interesting. Here's what I think. Am I correct? Yes. Well, I disagree. And here's why. And that should be okay. But we're aiming at peace. We're aiming at listening. We're aiming so that we can have a harvest of righteousness. Guys, it's time to come together. It's time to listen to each other. It's time to stop fighting and quarreling for our own desires to win, to listen, to get progress and move forward together, to aim at what God has for us. And that's going to happen in this list. Let's dive into that again and look at it. And may God bless you as you apply it in all of your areas of life.